Kia ora, some thunderstorms in the forecast this afternoon and heavy rainfall on the western coast of the South Island. But I think for many of us what we'll find is the warm temperatures are the real talking point over the next couple of days. You can see as we go through the afternoon on the North Island, there's a cluster of showers springing up through those central parts of the North Island, drifting across in towards those northern parts of Wairarapa, southern parts of Hawke's Bay. Some of those fairly heavy, perhaps thundery through there. Also another cluster likely to form across those inland parts of Northern. Keep an eye on the radar charts this afternoon. On the South Island, a good east-west split with more cloud and wet weather on those western-facing coasts. While out east, it's fine, dry and warm as we go through the next few days. There is wet weather on its way, especially for those western areas. So these fronts are moving in from the far south and west, bringing heavy rainfall through parts of Fiordland and Westland and spills across into Southland and parts of Otago. Up towards Canterbury, we'll keep hold of generally drier weather, but I think we are going to find it just turns cloudier. You can see on the North Island, still areas of cloud, but most of the time through the night time it stays dry and warm. These are our nighttime minimum temperatures as we head through into those early hours of Thursday or Friday morning. You can see there temperatures on the South Island not much below 11 degrees Celsius, and a similar story on the North Island as well, with some spots in the east not dropping below about 14 degrees Celsius through the night time. 14 in Dunedin there, a very warm start today for you on Friday. As we go through the next day or so, we'll keep hold of that wet weather on the western coast. There are some severe weather warnings and watches already in place for parts of the southern and western areas of the South Island. For the North Island, things on Friday generally looking drier, some clearer skies. There are going to be a few showers to watch out for. We'll come on to that in a sec. But you can see we've got this wet weather on the western coast. Ahead of it as well, these stronger northwesterly winds driving that rainfall in towards Westland, also over the tops of the main divide in towards the headwaters of Otago and Canterbury. So we have got some heavy rain warnings for Westland, also those headwaters of Otago and Canterbury, and those northern parts of Fiordland, so north about George Sound. Now the heaviest rainfall will be up about the main divide, where you could find as much as 300 to 400 millimetres of rainfall. Lesser amounts down towards that western coast, but I think it's worth keeping a close eye on the forecast, especially as we head through Friday and in towards that first part of Saturday. For the North Island, though, things generally are looking much more settled. There is going to be a bit of cloud around those more inland areas to start things off. Might be thick enough to bring a few spots of patchy rain through parts of the Bay of Plenty or Waikato. As we head in towards the afternoon, some fine spells returning and some brightness through there. It's worth saying, though, where we find winds coming together down this central spine of Northland, Auckland, in towards Waikato and Taupo, we could find some showers. So it's worth keeping a close eye on the radar for tomorrow. I think places like Auckland, we could catch an afternoon shower. We'll also find the cloud thickening up down in Wellington as we head through the daytime, enough to bring an evening shower, but again, most of the day is looking dry. However, if you're looking for the best and the brightest places to be, you can't go far wrong with places like the eastern coast, or even this southern coast of Taranaki and in towards Wanganui. A fine looking day for you, and temperatures through Wanganui reaching highs of 24 degrees Celsius, still a little bit beyond what we'll find on this eastern coast. 28 degrees Celsius in Napier as we head through the daytime on Friday, and as we go through the weekend, we may well find those temperatures reaching up to about 30 degrees by the time we head into Saturday there for places like Hastings. So looking like a very warm weekend on that eastern coast. But you can see across the entirety of the North Island a very warm story, and another warm night as we head through into the early hours of Saturday. Minimum temperatures of 15 in New Plymouth. Down on the South Island, that's where we have got our more active weather. Heavy rainfall feeding in towards parts of Southland, Fiordland, and up in towards Western. You can see this rain sticks with us through the daytime on Friday, and it stays very much in place even through in towards Saturday. So these warnings you can see, these warnings for parts of Westland run from 6 a.m. on Friday right the way through till 1 p.m. on Saturday. Now, along with this wet weather, we'll find strengthening northwesterly winds, and they will push across in towards the east. A place like Christchurch, although it will turn cloudier through the day. We'd like to find it stays dry across many parts of the plains. We'll keep hold of those northwesterly winds, quite strong at times through the afternoon, but I think it will also help lift our temperatures as well. Down in the south, we'll keep hold of more cloud and wet weather, especially across those more western parts. Heavy rain warnings from George Sound northwards, and we have got that warning as well across those higher parts of Canterbury and Otago. But like I say, down towards the coast, it's more likely to be cloudy conditions, windier and warm as well. Christchurch, Kaikoura, Rangiora reaching highs around about 26 degrees Celsius. And overnight temperatures in Christchurch through to the early hours of Saturday, 19 degrees. That's a very warm night there and quite muggy as well. Now, as we go in towards the weekend, we will find this front moves slowly northwards. It pushes up against this big broad area of high pressure, which acts like a big block to the system. So you can see it slowly makes its way northwards through parts of the Grey District, up in towards Buller and that northwestern corner of Tasman. Not really seeing the rain clearing away at all through the daytime on Saturday. Could be some heavy rain through those areas. Keep an eye on those severe weather watches and warnings. By the end of the day, it's draped across those central areas, giving a bit of a cloudier, wetter end today here in Wellington. But to the north, not a bad looking story. A bit more cloud around those western facing coasts. But again, still very warm for parts of, say, Hawke's Bay and Tairafti, with those temperatures into the high 20s, even perhaps 30 degrees Celsius. For the South Island, things generally looking dry, a bit more cloud in towards Canterbury on Saturday than you'll see on Friday. But I think some drier weather down in those southern areas. This next area of higher pressure building back in behind it. By Sunday, this front is now stuck between these two areas of high pressure, so it doesn't have much movement. It stays draped across those southern parts of the North Island, from, say, Taranaki down towards Wairarapa. So keeping more cloud through there, and some spells of rain, especially in those areas exposed to those more western-facing coasts, so places like the Kapiti Coast through the morning time, Taranaki, and by the end of the day, up in towards parts of Waitomo. The next feature runs in towards the south. You can see that next bulge in the ice bars, bringing some wetter weather towards parts of Fiordland by the end of the day on a Sunday. But if you're up towards Auckland, what we'll find is generally a dry-looking few days, still very warm, and I think we are going to find more cloud as we head towards the end of the day on Sunday. That's it from me. Kia pai te rā.